Hello fish fans. Now I've been a compulsive all-round angler for just shy of 40 years.
In 2017, I decided to focus almost exclusively on catching wild and very often uncaught carp from rivers.
There are 5 main rivers in my home county, and so far I've been lucky enough to catch carp over 20 pounds from 3 of them in consecutive seasons. This gave me the idea of trying to complete the full set by catching a 20 pound plus carp from the remaining 2 and to film everything as I go.
My day job keeps me pretty busy. I don't have a lot of time for fishing. Nevertheless, the recent lockdown has made me more determined than ever to use my fishing time to the fullest extent.
So join me as I try to complete this challenge and share with you the highs and lows of each session as I go.
I'm James Jenner and welcome to the River Carping Challenge vlog.
Welcome to season 2 of the challenge. With the rivers closed for the spring, we turned our attention back to the canal that we'd had some success on while lure fishing in the winter. April and most of May turned out to be pretty grim, but on the 27th of May we had one of the first lovely warm days of the year and set off to find a carp or two.
Get in the net. Well done, bud.
This lovely little mirror was a hard-earned and very pleasing result. After a celebratory pint and chips at a nearby pub, we moved to another section of the canal, one rumoured to hold a single, very large carp. After spotting it and following it around for over an hour, I finally had my chance.
That's the one we wanted.
What a day.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning, June the 16th. Beautiful summer's morning on a tidal river at the top of the tide. What a beautiful way to start the day. And what do we have here? Chunk. Yes.
Well, good morning and happy June the 16th to you all, our fishy fans. Welcome to season number 2 of the River Carping Challenge. We're back on river number 4. We're back on a new stretch, new club, same river, just a little bit further down than where we fished last season. All tidal. We've never seen, let alone fished this stretch of river. We've never even walked along it. Lee, unfortunately, had to work this morning, so he wasn't able to join me last night, but I secured a couple of midweek days off, which is always very handy, and got down last night about 9 o'clock. Rods went out bang at midnight, one on a Ronnie rig, 14mm Banoffee homemade pop-up, and another one with a double bottom bait, DNA baits S7. Put about 30-40 free baits out per rod, loads of rock salt coating and loads of liquid flavours, just nice and stinky as it's a grim looking tidal river. Anyway, 3 minutes past midnight, 8-pound bream, their classic bream of river carpers. Lovely fish, and if you were fishing for anything other than carp, it would have been most welcome, but as it was, off she swam quite happily. Got wiped out once the tide turned, started to come in at about 3 o'clock. It was racing through, got wiped out by a load of weed on the surface. That was the Ronnie rig rod, repositioned that, no dramas. The bottom bait rod had been out the whole time, not been touched. Around 3:45 started getting the very odd knock and a couple of little beeps, possibly liners on the bottom bait rod. And then about 4:15, it just melted off. Off it went upstream, so down tide. Solid battle for 15-20 minutes. Unfortunately, the GoPro froze at the moment of truth, which is just always the way. Anyway, wicked fight. Got it in the sling. Let's have a look. It looks like a nice common. To be honest with you, I don't care if it's £10 or if it's £32. It's a lovely, lovely way to start June the 16th. So let's get it out of the sling and have a look at it.
Yes, you fucking beauty. $22.4. Yes. Yes.
Well, here we are, June the 16th, 4 o'clock in the morning. On a new stretch of river number 4, tidal stretch that I've never seen, let alone fished before. At 3:30 this morning, I had an absolute melter on a screamingly strong tide. And would you believe what was on the end? Alright, £22, 4 ounces of tidal river Sussex common carp. Look at that. That's challenge completed for river number 4 on June the 16th. It doesn't get any fucking better than that. It really doesn't. Thank you so much. Mwah. What an amazing start to the season. I'm absolutely blown away, speechless. What an incredible result. I've still got another night to go. Unbelievable. Amazing. Let's get her back. Mwah. after that amazing 22.4 at what, 4:15 this morning. It's now 5:30. Just sat there watching the weed build up on the line as they entered the water. The tide's running out now. As I'm sat there watching it, hoops around down tide. Nice little character. Awesome. What a lovely way to open the 16th. Not a monster. Couldn't care less. He's absolutely lovely. I bet he's got a few stories to tell from his years in the river. Cheers, buddy. Mwah. Good times.
carp number 3 on opening day. Scrappy little common. He fought ridiculously hard, so I'm going to unhook him in the net and let him go. Happy days though. The joys of fishing a lower reach of the tidal river. So you really got to work around the tides. It'll give you a lot of headaches. If I'd have known it was going to be this powerful, I would have bought more heavier duty rods, heavier line and much more lead, but as it is, I'm kind of making do. As you can see on the far bank there, what looks like foam, that's actually weed, bright green weed, really being washed up from the estuary or the sea anyway. Now the tide's on its way in at the moment, it's on the flood, so it's absolutely racing in. Now as you can see at the moment, as the tide's coming in, that weed line runs along the far bank. As the tide runs back out, so it's going to go that way, that weed line will come right along the inside. So as you can see down there, I've got 4 bank sticks. The 2 top ones are the extendables I've got on at the moment. When the tide's running out, I want those right up in the air. So as much line as possible is out of the water, because that weed's going to be churning down the inside line and I can have the line hanging over the top of it. Back leads can help, they can make it worse. It really depends. It's all about the exact spot of the tide, but generally speaking, if the tide's on its way out, I just loop the leads over the top of this inner weed line and have the rods up really high, like you're fishing on the Trent or something for barbel. Oh, hello. See, that's, yeah, classic point, is the lead being moved by a weed hanging on the line down there. Yeah, as the tide's coming in, like it is at the moment, ideally what I want is the rods low as possible. And the majority of the weed, as I say, is going along the far line. There is still some weed coming along this line, so what I want to do is get the rigs out as quick as I can, drop everything right down, get the back leads down off the rod tip, so as much of the line is out of the water as possible, and it's going down and then across. And obviously, once the tide turns, you've got to reverse everything, rods up, over, a bit of a pain, but kind of adds to the challenge. It makes every bite all the more worthwhile.
June the 16th, still being very good to me. The fourth carp of the day since midnight. Near the top of the tide again. What a fight. Hopefully the GoPro caught all of that. But look at this one. 16 pound and 12 ounces. What a river. What a day. June the 16th. River season is well and truly open. Outstanding. Thank you, sweetheart. Mwah. Amazing. Well, it's a hot day, so let's... What I was going to say is, it's a hot day, so let's get her straight back. Thank you, darling.
The surface is crowded.